Okay, at this point, I'm just going to continue to steal code from this YAGSL example. So this is within the example found in their docs. Within the swerve subsystem, there is a section of code. It's a public command called drive command. Be careful, there's more than one of these. This is the one that takes a translation X, a translation Y, and an angular rotation. This is the one we've traditionally driven with. There's one for setting a heading as well. I'm not going to use that one. So I'm going to copy this code. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back to my own swerve subsystem. And down here under the commands, there's an example command right there. I'll put it under it. I'm going to add this drive command. It seems fine with that. No complaints. They do, the nice thing about this command that they already have is that they do some of the math, scaling the translation, using the double value that will be supplied by your joysticks and multiplying it by the maximum velocity. They do set some other things that they have a max angular velocity. They have an angular rotation speed, some other interesting things here. These numbers might need to be tweaked to drive the way we want it to. They do provide that they do cube the rotation, it looks like. I'm not sure what this one is here. Swerve math. Translation 2D. Swerve math. What does it take? Let's say what it takes. It takes a translation, a rotation, field relative, this translation 2D has 3 terms, it looks like. Double X, double Y. It looks like it has something additionally. Scale it scales the translation. Not sure why it does that, why they want to do that. They scale it by 0.8. They must just bring it down by to 0.8 power, I guess. I'm not sure why they're doing that, slowing it down. Anyways, we can mess with that later. Okay, so you have a command here. And now I need to be able to use that command. So I'm going to go into robot container. I'm going to write a new command in here that uses that. But once again, I'm just going to steal code. So let's go back to their robot container. And you can see where they use this command. Drive field-oriented angular velocity command. It's right here. I like this command because it already applies dead bands for the joysticks. So let's see here, command. Let's put it in here. It doesn't like drive base because I don't think I have that yet. Quick fix. Create field drive base. I don't need to do that. Let's go to the top. I need to make it. So example subsystem. This is where we add subsystems. Private, final, swerve. swerve subsystem. Let's call this drive train equals new swerve subsystem. So I now have a swerve subsystem in my robot. Go back down to this command. Oh, they call it drive base. Let's change drive train to drive base. Okay, so it's complaining about some other things now. Drive command. The method drive command in the type is not applicable for the arguments. What the heck? Those not double suppliers. I might need to change this driver Xbox to what am I calling this? In here it's called M driver controller. Let's change that. M driver controller. M driver controller. This should say M driver controller. Are those not double suppliers? Is it the issue that it's math-util applied deadband? Is that why it doesn't like that? It doesn't like that these don't exist, so let me go ahead and fix these. Adding these to the operator constants. There. Oh, it's cool with that now. Those just needed to exist in constants. Let's go down to constants. Let's find them. Constants, operator constants, driver controller port, deadband 0.05. Set these deadbands. Okay. Let's go back to the subsystem. Okay, so now I have a command within the robot container that it doesn't mind called drive field oriented angular velocity. And now I just need to set that as the default. So here I will do, after configure bindings here, I'll do drive base dot set default command drive field oriented angular velocity. Cool. It likes that. I think there's a good chance that at this point that this would just run. The problems it has right now is that example command subsystem is not used. That's fine. And that this import math util units never used. That's okay. But I should have a default command right now on my drive base called drive field oriented angular velocity that takes 3 inputs, the driver joystick left X and Y. I'm not sure why Y is first here. That seems strange. I feel like this is backwards. I'm gonna switch this. Maybe that's wrong, but their code says that. So I'm gonna do that. It does apply a 0.5 multiplier to their rotation command. I'm gonna change that to a constant. Actually, I'll call this operator constants dot. Let's do turn. Let's call this turn turn rate, turn speed. And it doesn't like that doesn't exist yet. So let's create it. And let's immediately define that to be 1. No, I'm going to assume I don't need to slow that turn down unless the driver asks for it. So that looks pretty good. And then that command goes to a similar command within the swerve subsystem right here that takes those things I'm giving it and uses the swerve drive.drive command, puts them in. It scales the translation by 0.8. I'm not sure why it does that. I don't know if that's its way of slowing it down too and setting a max speed as well. So I'm not sure why they do that, but there's a good chance we don't need to do that. Let's call that 1. I don't know. I don't know why we're slowing that down. Swerve drive get maximum angular velocity. We're doing that. Yeah, everything else looks probably good and ready to drive, though maybe it's worth starting slower. But I'd say we try that, see how it goes. Let's work from there, and then we'll have to set offsets and things like that after that. But okay.